Hi, my name is David, and today I'm going to show you how to manually trigger these custom functions that the Elliptical add-on provides. Before we start, if you want to install the add-on, you can just go to Extensions, Add-on, Get Add-ons, and then you can type here the name Elliptical, and you'll find it here, and then you can click Install. Once you have the add-on installed, so I show you can use it, you can define it here, it's going to fetch data from the internet. But the main problem is that if you are one of these people that just leave the same tab open for a very long time and they don't open and close it, this information is going to remain, it's going to be stale after a while. If you're like me, like every time you're not using a spreadsheet, you just close the tab and you open again, you won't have that issue because the function is going to trigger every time you open the spreadsheet. But if you don't, if you keep it open all the time, there's a neat trick that you can use to fetch, to make sure that you're seeing the latest data from these custom functions. So as you can see, this function, for example, it only expects a single argument, the address. But Google allows you to pass even more arguments if you want to, even though the function itself is just going to ignore those values. But every time one of the inputs or one of the arguments of a function changes, Google's automatically reruns this custom function. So in this case, it's going to force refetching new data. So let me show you an example. So as you can see, only one argument is required, but I can say, for example, you're gonna put here, let's call it here trigger, maybe here, trigger, and it's gonna put number 1, for example. It doesn't matter the value, just one number. And I'm just gonna now provide that extra reference to this cell. Click enter. Notice how it's now loading data again, right? But as soon as I modify this cell, you can see the function reruns again. Even though the function itself doesn't expect a second argument, you can provide that as a way to force the Google spreadsheet to re-trigger the function. So that's a common trick that I use. I basically just create like a fixed reference to a single cell. And let's say that I'm just gonna apply that to all the cells below that. Same here, I'm just gonna provide this reference. You're going to fix it, and you can do that with F4, so you can see the double dollar symbol. Now you apply it to all the cells, and I'll do the same here in the last column. Same reference to the same function, and apply it to all of them. So now, if I'm ever in doubt if this data is the latest or not, because I left the tab open for very long, I can just simply change this value to any other value. And I'm going to see that all the functions are going to re-trigger and going to fetch the new data. That's it for today. That's how you force refetching new data for the add-on.